If you've been diagnosed with vitiligo, you have most likely been told you have an autoimmune disorder and that not much can be done to heal it. According to this theory, your body is destroying its melanin-producing cells, responsible for the pigment of your skin. But this is exactly that, a theory. It's not the truth, and it's not why you or someone you know has vitiligo. The entire autoimmune theory that your body attacks itself is incorrect. It's critical to understand this if you have vitiligo or any other condition that you've been told is autoimmune. Unfortunately, this false belief is at the foundation of medical thinking, leaving countless people feeling like they are living in a body that has turned against them. The truth is that your body never turns against you. There's a very real cause of so-called autoimmune conditions like vitiligo, eczema, Hashimoto's disease, fibromyalgia, multiple sclerosis and others, and these are real illnesses. If it's not autoimmune, what is it? The answer to this question has three parts. Primarily, vitiligo and many other autoimmune diseases are caused by an epidemic of viruses medical science and research haven't yet discovered. It's specific viruses that are to blame for so many chronic symptoms and illnesses. In the case of vitiligo, it can be HHV6 or the Epstein-Barr virus, EBV. Recently, medical science has conducted studies that prove that EBV is linked to vitiligo, but their findings are deceiving. In claiming that a link exists, they deny that EBV is actually the cause, not just linked. Instead, they still blame vitiligo on genetics and continue to diagnose vitiligo as an autoimmune condition. Neither of which are true. Putting the focus on genetics and autoimmune shifts the attention away from healing and toward the promotion of an onslaught of unnecessary drugs and treatments that won't address the root cause. In reality, the connection between EBV and vitiligo is more than a mere affiliation. Another aspect of this condition, where medical science is a bit closer to the truth, is the role of industrial chemicals. However, while medical research shows that vitiligo can be triggered by exposure to industrial chemicals, they are not clear on why this is. For example, if you work in a factory that exposes you to industrial chemicals, chances are that you or someone else in that factory has been diagnosed with vitiligo. But the issue of industrial chemicals is more than one of exposure. These chemicals and toxins are deep within the body of anyone diagnosed with vitiligo and usually were inside the body in the womb and at birth because they are passed down from generation to generation, which is what gives the illusion that this condition is the fault of damaged or defective genes. You can then get even more exposure over your lifetime. Heavy metals present in the body can include mercury, lead, nickel, steel, and others, but when it comes to vitiligo, aluminum is the main culprit followed by copper. It can also be formaldehyde that's to blame. The third component in this equation is oxidation. In order for aluminum or copper to cause vitiligo, it needs to be oxidized. How exactly does oxidation occur? As these metals sit in the liver, they interact and react to other metals. In combination with a high-fat diet, which burdens the liver, heavy metals fill with air and expand. Once aluminum and other heavy metals are oxidized, they corrode and burst. If even a low-grade virus is present in the body, this explosion of microscopic pieces of the aluminum or copper feeds the virus. Medical science and research don't yet know that viruses actually eat and that these toxic heavy metals are some of their very favorite foods. When HHV6, EBV and other viruses sit in the liver and feed off of heavy metals such as aluminum, they release a poison that travels to the skin. This methyl aluminum poison creates a dermatoxin that destroys the melanin or pigment-producing cells in your body. The result is vitiligo. It's important to note that these dermatoxins and internally created, not external dermatoxins such as chemicals that irritate the skin. Dermatoxins can travel to other destinations in the body as well, but commonly they make their way to the face or knees through the lymphatic system. Each person's lifestyle, how much they exercise, their diet, and environment also determines where dermatoxins travel and how they affect the body. None of this has been discovered by science and research yet. The role of stress often takes the blame for illnesses across the board, but there's more to understand about what's really happening in the body. Stress weakens the immune system, which allows viruses to gain a stronger foothold in the body. Stress also triggers excess adrenaline to be released in the body, and adrenaline is another favored food of viruses. Stress can play a part in triggering countless conditions, but if you are suffering from vitiligo, you also need to rid your body of aluminum, copper and formaldehyde. kill off the viruses in your liver, and support your liver by reducing fat in your diet. In short, while stress is indeed a trigger and should be avoided if possible, it is more important to know why it is a trigger and what you can do to heal. How to heal? At this point, you are probably asking yourself what your options are. To get aluminum, copper and formaldehyde out of the liver, it's important to lower your fat intake, whether you are a meat eater or plant-based. It's also important to remove the harmful foods like eggs and dairy products. These foods feed the viruses that cause a myriad of conditions, including vitiligo. Cutting out these foods and lowering your fat intake will slow down the oxidation process and help eradicate viruses from the body. Step 1 of healing, but a second significant step to healing vitiligo is removing the aluminum or copper. And of course, celery juice is extremely helpful. The mineral salts in celery juice alone can help tremendously in dissolving the membrane of a virus such as EBV or HHV6. Lastly, it's critical to bring in the healing foods and supplements such as B12, spirulina, zinc, barley grass juice powder, that will kill off the virus and detox body from heavy metals. Look at the description below, you can find links to the best possible supplements for healing vitiligo. If you want to get daily information about health, please subscribe.